Hi, this is Mahesh Ravi, and in this video, we're going to take a look at how to set up your FIGMA project file uh, for handling a UX or a product design project. You can use the desktop version of FIGMA or the browser version of FIGMA. It doesn't make much of a difference. Let's get started with project building here. I'm currently using the desktop version of Figma. So once you're in Figma, you can actually see your dashboard like this. The first thing that you should start doing is to add a team. If you already haven't added, you can actually start a new team here. So click on create a new team and you can give a team name. Because at times when you're working on a project, you might have to collaborate with other people, other designers, developers, or content writers and things like that. So it's always advised to have a team. So I'm going to create a team here. Let's call it test team and click create a team. So you can add your collaborators right away, or if you want to wait and add it later, you can skip this for now. And then you can choose the package that you want. So you can create a team and upgrade it into a professional plan to enjoy a lot of things. So once you set up your team, you have your test team right here. And you can see the team project folder is created here. And it doesn't have any projects, and that's the reason it's not showing anything in here. So if you double click on this, you can see that this is the team project. You can start a design file or a new Figma file. This is how you can get started. So click on this and it will launch a new design project. So once you are here in this design project, you can click here to rename your project. So I'm working on a filmmaker app. So just enter that and you have your project here. Now, one of the first things that you should set up before you start clicking on the frame and designing a frame is the pages option here. So rather than creating or dumping all your design files into one page, you can distribute it in different pages. Just like imagine using Canva and you're creating a slideshow so that you can keep adding pages to one project, right? So it's the same way. So we are currently on page 1. If you click on this drop down button, you can see that there are more pages that you can create. Since we selected the free plan, we only have 2 free pages. We can only create 2 free pages. So if I was actually going with a professional plan, I can create more pages here. So if you are not updated to a student or educator's version, do it right away so that you can create more pages. I just wanted to show you how the free version will look like. This is still okay. You can have 2 more pages, which is absolutely okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll create 1 page here. I'll create 1 more page. So we have 3 pages and we have maxed out our usage in a free plan, right? All the 3 pages are used, which is absolutely fine. So I'm going to go to page 1 and to set up your page, you can right click, double click this, and then you can call it cover page. And the second one is basically your design. So all your designs are going to go here. And the third page could be the mockups that you are going to do, or maybe the tests that you are going to run. You can distribute it in any way that you want. But since we have only 3 pages, I've done it like this. And this is really good to start. So I'm going to go to the cover page. This is going to be very important when you are adding collaborators or when you are sharing this Figma file with others. They will not just directly enter into your design page, they will know what it is all about. So this is the cover page. Now change the background color to something a little more attractive. So maybe I'm going to use this. You can add text, and I'm going to write it like this. Create a UX case study, and I'm going to duplicate that, bring it here, change it to maybe 80, and I'm going to mention our case. So film maker. So this is the app that I'm working on. You can just add additional information here. So maybe designed by your name. And maybe you can create an index as well, right? So I'm just going to say that 001 cover, 002 designs. So putting it like this will make it look like you're aligning this really well. You can also cross-link this, but we will do that later. So I have this happening here. Okay, so we have the cover page of this. You can even add additional information. You can add a picture of yourself or your team, or maybe make it as attractive as possible. So this is where all of that is going to start. You can change your typography and all that. This is what the first thing your collaborators or your client will see when they go into the app. So it will also tell them that how disciplined you are if you start with this, rather than going sharing directly one page with all your designs on one page. So now you can switch to designs, and there is nothing that we haven't created anything here, right? So you can start building your design. So you can go to frames and then choose what is the device that you're working on. Now here is an interesting tip that you can do here. So you have the iPhone here, right? So you can now see that this is actually a rectangle, but when you are using an iPhone in reality, you will not get this rectangle exactly. There will be rounded edges for it because the phone's design form is like that. The design factor actually lets you see only a rounded rectangle. So if you change that in the design here itself, it will actually give you a more accurate display of how your design will look on phone. So what you can do is, it's a very simple technique to make it aesthetically better. So I'm just going to go here. I'll go here into the rounded corner of the frame. I'll just enter number 30 there. And you can now see that it's a rounded box. It is not a square. You can see that the edges are rounded like in a real iPhone. So this actually makes your design sell faster. I mean, it looks aesthetically interesting as well. So you can do that. I mean, maybe when you change your color to something else, so I'm going to give it a little bit of black. You will be able to see this better, the rounded edges. So that's an interesting way to present your work rather than just working on rectangles. It will be more useful when you do it like that. So you create all your designs here, and one thing that you can always try and do is, when you're designing something, you can add a text as a header here. So let's say you're actually working on a particular prototype or a section of that, and go to instead of frame, you can choose a section and you can draw a section here. So anything that you are going to put in this section, right? So it will be like this. You can even name the section to whatever you want. So phone, right? So that one design will be in this section. So whatever flow that you're going to add and everything will be here in this section. So instead of frame, you can choose a section and put all of that in there to make it even more clear. So once you've done that, and this is where you will be building all your designs as we discussed, you can start bringing in your design. You can go to mockups and you can start building mockups of your designs as well. For instance, let's say we are quickly designing something. Let's go to this frame and just make a design here. So this is like a splash screen thing. Okay. change the typeface to something a little more interesting. So we have this particular screen right now. Now you want to show a mockup at the end. You can actually copy this frame, Control C to copy that. Go to mockups and paste it right there. So this is what you will be using to build a mockup of the screen, right? So what you can do here in Figma is that there are so many plugins which are available to build a mockup. So you can go to plugins here and look for, find more plugins and look for mockup, and you'll get a lot of suggestions. And Mock Rocket is a really interesting 3D mockup. So click run. It's going to show you the devices that you can get. So I need to, okay, the device is already there. I've already selected this frame here. I just need to click on load selection. So that screen is going to be loaded in here. You can use your mouse to actually change how the display needs to be, change the color of the phone. You can change the position quickly like this. So let's say this actually looks pretty interesting. I can create a floor shadow also. And here you can turn it off if you want. And the device, so whatever device that we worked on, it will give you that device. So I worked on the 14 Pro, so you can actually work on that same device if you want. So yeah, it looks good. Now all you need to do is export to Figma. Close it, and the mockup is right there in this screen. You can now delete this if you don't need it, because it's just going to be a space where you can display your mockups. Just scale it up, and you can have an interesting mockup right here. So you have your cover page, you have your designs, all your designs in sections and in separate categories right here. And you can go to mockups, and all your mockups will be here for them to just quickly see how it looks in the screen. I would also recommend another thing that you can do here is that define all your assets, all your components, all your reusable components. So for example, I'll show you how to quickly create a component, right? So I'm going to just click on create a button here. So we have this button. I'm going to fill it with some dark shade of black. Now I want to make it into a component. You can right click this and create a component, or you can click on this plus sign to this particular icon to create a component. So if you click on this, the component is already created. If you click this plus icon once again, it will add a variant to that component, right? So basically, when you select this, you can see that there are two variants which we already created. One is the default one, and there is variant 2. You can click on this, and you can rename this as well. So let's say we will make the default one as active, and the variant that we created, we can call it inactive. Now what we are going to do is we will select the inactive state in here. This is the inactive state, and we will change the color to this. So if the button is inactive, it will be in that color. So we have already defined a variant right here. Now if you go to your design, any design that you're building, go to the assets panel, you drag and drop your button into any design that you want. All you have to do is you can just select this, and you can change the variant here. Click on it, and you can, based on the design that you are building, you can make it active or inactive. Because it's a component, it have different states in there. So this is how components work, and that's a good idea to actually have all your components right in this file. Another thing that you can do is you can actually take UI kits and you can bring in content from there as well. So if you go to the community, so if you go here and click on explore community, you will be able to see a lot of UI kits and stuff. You can search for UI kit. So you'll find a lot of interesting UI kits. You can just search for paid or free. And then when you have a UI kit that you actually like, you can open that in Figma. And you can see, just like how we set up our project, there is a cover for this. There is a mobile UI kit. There is a components page. So if you go to the components page, you can actually see all the components. You can go to the asset tab of this document and you can see all the components which are here, including data and all that. So all you need to do is you can copy that, go back to your project and paste it right there. So you can see that it got added into your local assets of this particular project, and you can use that in your project. So this is how you should be documenting your or managing your Figma projects, and it's really easy and it will give you a lot of design discipline. So I hope this was helpful. Please start building your Figma projects using this strategy, and I'll see you soon with another video. Thank you.